Hi, hello everybody. Destiny Rising is launching tomorrow, and I thought it would be best to give you all some tips in order to make sure that you are the best prepared for this game's launch. Now, as most of my knowledge comes from the beta and pre-release news, I'm not going to go into anything very specific, like going after any particular items in case of any balance changes that have happened since. Instead, I will be giving you all some general guidelines to follow in order to make sure that you can get the best out of your starting experience in this game. Now, without further ado, the first and probably most important tip I have for everybody starting out is to not sweat these first few days of the game's launch. You are going to be a lot more limited at the start. You aren't going to be able to get the best items, and it's going to take a few days in order to level up your character through the daily quests and campaign in order to reach the point where you would actually want to be grinding a lot of these weapons and other loot items for your account. The next tip that I have, especially for this period, is to try out other units while you are still early in leveling. You can try them out first inside of the character trials and see if any ones stick out to you at first, and then you can play with them some more while you are going through the earlier levels of your account, such as levels 1 through around 50. After level 50, you are definitely going to want to specialize a lot more, since the amount of resources that it takes to make a character endgame ready drastically spikes once you get to level 70 and further. So when you reach that level 60 to 80 threshold, you are going to want to focus all of your resources into one unit. So use that time while you are earlier on to explore and see if there are any that tickle your particular fancy. The third very important tip, and this is more for people who are newer to this genre, and it is to do your dailies. That includes doing the daily missions, any other daily objectives from events, as well as spending any energy so you do not overcap, because any energy that you would normally gain beyond the normal cap is wasted. So it is a use it or lose it situation. The next tip that I have, and we're starting to get into information that's particular to Destiny Rising, the next tip is to level up your region rep and to complete the exploration objectives. In both the Jiangxi Metro and the Red Sea Rift area, there will be a reputation rank for each region that you can increase by completing public events, patrols, defeating high-value targets, as well as getting a significant amount from completing dailies and completing the exploration objectives. Additionally, completing the exploration objectives on the map will give you a lot more resources, including character draws. So it is worth it to do it for that fact alone. Ranking up your reputation will also give you more character draws and can give you some other exclusive rewards like emblems and triumphs. The next tip in this very same vein is to play the casual modes and also to rank up their rep. Now, there were only 2 different casual modes that had a reputation rank up at the beta of Destiny Rising, and that was the Shadow Shaper Duels card game, as well as the fishing. Both the PvP game mode and the Sparrow Racing were one-and-done activities that you could really just do when you felt like them, so long as they were available, but didn't really offer anything beyond the standard rewards from the activities. However, when it comes to the card game and the fishing, the more you complete them, especially on a regular basis, the more rewards you will obtain, such as Lumia Leaves and character draws, so on and so forth. There are also triumphs and titles related to these game modes as well, so be sure to look out for that when you've got some extra time. Now, these next tips are a lot less casual oriented, so if you don't really care that much about squeezing the absolute most out of your account and would much rather play this game at your own pace, no matter if you make mistakes, that will be fun. So for my next tip, it will be to save your pinnacle energy for the first couple days, and to spend as little pinnacle energy as possible until you reach the point where you can gain endgame rewards, and such as mythic weapons. As shown in the activity menu that we can see here in the developer preview, as well as in the beta, we have two forms of Pinnacle Energy. You have the Golden Pinnacle Energy, which will refresh 120 per day, and you have the Blue Pinnacle Energy, which is permanent and only goes when you spend it. You can store up to 3 days worth of Pinnacle Energy before you overcap. As the earlier levels will pass by very quickly, and the amount and quality of rewards you gain will rapidly improve as you go through the levels. Saving your Pinnacle Energy for the first couple days, and especially saving your Blue Pinnacle Energy until you reach endgame, is a good thing to do. Spending your Pinnacle Energy can give you a bit more XP to help you level up. However, it's not a significant enough margin to where you should be much further behind than other people are at that same stage of progression. Additionally, as you level up, you will gain access to the Iron Commander, as seen in the bottom right here. My face is covering it up though. Let me move it up to the side. Right there, you can see the Iron Commander. Now, this will allow you to spend Pinnacle Energy to get tokens, which are essentially just one claim of Pinnacle Energy for a particular activity that can be auto-completed by your characters so long as they are high enough level. So what you can do while you are earlier on in the game is you can store some of those Iron Commander tokens with your Pinnacle Energy and save them until endgame in order to get those higher tier rewards without having to worry about overcapping your energy. But like I said before, the most important thing is to make sure that you are not wasting energy. If you do not have room for 120 Pinnacle Energy for the next day, you will lose some. So make sure that you are always hitting those thresholds. Now, the next tip, and this is also for people who are newer to the genre, you are not going to want to spend Lumia Leaves on standard draws. What are standard draws? Well, right here you can see the two different types of character draws that will be featured in Destiny Rising. On the right, you have the blue ones, which are the regular Bon Voyage charms, and on the left, you have the iridescent pink and blue ones called the Bon Voyage charm LE. I don't know what LE stands for, but to put it simply, on the right, you have the standard banner draws, and on the left, you have the limited banner draws. You will get significantly more standard banner draws from activities and progression than you will get limited banner draws. You can use Lumia Leaves to purchase both. However, since you will always be getting more standard banner draws and limited units will be coming out later and the standard banner units are always available, it will almost always be better for you to spend your Lumia Leaves on limited draws or to save them for more limited draws for a future unit. The last thing that you would want to do is to not have enough draws for a limited character that you really want because you spent them all for a unit like Tan2. Beyond that, if you are satisfied with your current roster, like you have the 5-star units that you want to play in the endgame, or if you have the 4-star units that you want to play up to a satisfactory talent level, then my best advice is to save your standard banner draws for the future, because there will be units coming later, as shown in the preview stream as well, and was also featured in the beta, Umeko, who is a 4-star unit. And all 4-star units will be immediately available on the standard banner as soon as they release. Now, for those of you who have been following the game since the beta or have watched some of my beta videos, you will know that Umeko is really good. She is probably one of the best units overall in the entire game, and while she will be featured on the limited banner, if you do not want to pull for the character on the limited banner, or if you just want more copies of Umeko, because units will get stronger if you get additional copies of them, saving your standard pulls for Umeko would be a very good thing to do. Or if you don't want Umeko, there will be more 4-star units in the future. We already know of one who has not had an official announcement, even though he's appeared in official marketing and is mentioned in systems in the beta, Rossi 11, who is another Arc Warlock, who's also speculated to be a defensive or offensive unit. So if you already have all of the units that you want from the standard banner, then it would be good to save for the future. And finally, the most important tip that I have for most of you is to not sweat it if you cannot full clear the end game on its first reset. Remember, this game is a marathon and not a sprint. These early stages in the game are going to be very, very tight on resources, and there are going to be many opportunities for mistakes. And you will all most likely have significantly less experience in these earlier stages, meaning that it is very likely that you will not be able to full clear the end game during these very early reset periods. Now, so long as you continue playing the game, you will very gradually increase the power of your account, and before you know it, you will be consistently full clearing these modes and getting all of the resources available from them. Additionally, the majority of the resources are not tied to full clearing the mode and are largely only for completing most of it. So if you are still able to hit those thresholds, then you do not have to worry because you didn't get the final 10% of the rewards that you may be missing out. This game is a marathon, not a sprint. What's most important is the longevity of your account and to make sure that you do not burn yourself out. Because if you're not playing the game regularly, then you're not progressing. Especially in these first few days, most of you, it would likely not be a good choice for most of you to spend like 8 or 12 hours a day on this first week. In the future, if you have enough time for like 8 to 12 hour play sessions, go ahead. But be sure to go about this game at a healthy pace, because you do not want to ruin your experience in order to shave a few seconds off of your expense clear. Now, that's all the tips that I have for these very, very early stages of Destiny Rising. There will be a lot more content detailing it and guiding you through this game, talking about what characters are good, what weapons are good, what perks you should push for, so on and so forth. If you would like to see more of that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Every single subscriber puts me one step closer to adding another plushie behind me, so with enough, I may soon be drowning in them. Also, I will be hosting a Q&A stream for this final day of pre-release of Destiny Rising. If you're watching this video on release, I am likely live right now, so be sure to drop a question in chat or in my Discord server, which you would have a much lower chance of the question being lost. I'll make sure to answer all the questions that I can to the best of my ability with my knowledge of both betas and all of the pre-release info that we've received thus far. I will also be streaming the game on launch and throughout the entire weekend, so be sure to stop in for that as well. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time.